Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Chels Cora and today I'm talking about step 6 of 12-step recovery. Step 6 states we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. So what are character defects or defects of character? These are any negative attributes that block us from being able to feel the love and connectedness of our higher power, ourselves, and others around us. According to the program, character defects are any of the negative mindset and behavioral patterns that keep us in a familiar cycle of repeating the same things over and over again while expecting different results. One resource that is really powerful for understanding steps 6 and 7 is a book called Drop the Rock. This book really picks up where the big book leaves off and discusses more in depth what it means to take on these steps. And one quote that I really would like to share from that book states, "In recovery, we try to take the opposite of our character defects and shortcomings and turn them into principles. For example, we work to change fear into faith, hate into love, egoism into humility, anxiety and worry into serenity, complacency into action, denial into acceptance, jealousy into trust, fantasy into reality, selfishness into service, resentment into forgiveness, judgmentalism into tolerance, despair into hope, self-hate into self-respect, and loneliness into fellowship. Through this work, we learn to understand the principles of our program." So how do things like fear, egoism, and resentment keep us blocked from feeling the love and connectedness of our higher power? To better understand this, I like to think of the vibrational emotional scale. At the atomic level, all human beings and everything around us in the physical world is comprised of energy, electrons swirling around a proton and neutron-filled nucleus, and this energy vibrates at different frequencies or different levels. So everything that we see around us in the physical realm is visible. We can touch it and interact with it in a physical way because it is vibrating at a lower and denser frequency. So a piece of food, a chair in your living room, or your cell phone are all things that we can touch because they exist in the material realm through their low vibrational frequency. They are dense matter. Emotions vibrate in a very similar way. Lower vibrational emotions such as fear, greed, envy, anger, they keep us in a lower frequency where everything feels more physical, more dense, more heavy, more separate, more isolated. However, when we are vibrating from a higher frequency such as joy, love, enlightenment, which is the highest, then we are very much having an experiential understanding of God's love and the interconnectedness of the universe and the oneness of all of life. At our highest level, the highest vibrational frequency that there is, we really are all one. We are all an extension of God. We are an extension of source energy, the universe, your higher power, the creator, whatever you want to call it. And when we are experiencing higher vibrational states such as love and joy, we know this to be true because we can feel it. But when we drop to those lower vibrational frequencies, this is not our reality at all. It's not our experience, and it couldn't feel farther from the truth because life feels very isolated, very lonely, and even meaningless. It is in these low vibrational states that we are more likely to pick up a drink or engage in those negative behavioral and mindset patterns that lead us down a downward spiral of the worst possible case scenarios. When we are in a low vibrational state, we can be sure that our character defects are at play. Step 6 is the step when we say, okay, so I have come face to face with all of my character defects in step 4. I released all the weight and pressure that they had on me by telling them to another person in step 5. Now, as I continue to work the steps and embark upon a life of sobriety, am I willing to engage in the same behavioral and mindset patterns that created the scenarios that are laid out through my entire step 4? Or am I willing to allow my higher power the opportunity to work in my life, to work through me, to create better behavioral patterns that give me an opportunity to do something differently to get different results? The key word here, yet again, is willing. The principle behind step 6 is willingness. We're not being asked to give up all these behavioral and mindset patterns overnight, but rather to become willing to open up our hearts and our minds to the idea that it is possible, with the help of our higher power, to give up and become aware of these old, low vibrational ways of thinking and being. For some, this could look like doing away with the tendency to constantly replace one addiction for another, for overeating, for overspending, for getting into relationship after relationship, hoping that the next partner is going to be that one that solves all of their problems. For others, this could look like giving up reactionary ways of dealing with people, places, and things. For example, if somebody gets jealous that their coworker makes more money than they do, rather than getting upset and falling into victimhood, they have the option to get centered within themselves and decide what is within my realm of control. I can't control anyone else's salary, but I can control my own behavior, how I show up to the workplace, that maybe if I perform better, I might have a chance of getting a higher salary, or maybe I'm not happy at this job. Maybe the best thing that's within my realm of control would be to go search for another job that does pay better. Or maybe if I really sit with myself and get honest, I'm actually pretty comfortable with my salary, and I don't have to engage in this constant game of comparison-nitis that sends me down that familiar vibrational cycle of negative emotion. As we move through recovery, our own character defects begin revealing themselves to us like layers of an onion, and all of the willingness in the world could not make this process happen overnight. The willingness that we need in step 6 is the willingness to allow this to be a continual process. It's basically going to continue the rest of our life, one day at a time, as long as we are willing to turn these character defects over to our higher power and allow our higher power to work in our lives in ways that keep us in a high vibrational new way of being and thinking, rather than the lower vibrational old ways that always led us back to a drink. That is my experience, strength, and hope with step 6. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you liked this video, found value out of it, please give it a thumbs up, hit that like button, and share it with a friend. Also, comment in the section below your own experience, strength, and hope with step 6. And of course, subscribe to my channel for more inspirational, spiritual, recovery-minded content to come. Thank y'all so much. Have a blessed day.